Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Weber here with Fittynomics.com, interviews with healthy gurus. Today I'm going to be interviewing Bob Kaleal. Bob Kaleal is a co-owner of Health 360, and he's also a personal trainer. Bob, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about how you got started.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bob Kaleal again. I have a couple master's degrees in exercise science. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist, as well as a Titles Performance Institute and a USA Boxing Coach Level 2. I've been around, wellness is pretty much all I know. To be honest with you, I've been doing it for about 13 years. Previous to that, I was a nationally certified massage therapist and neuromuscular therapist, and before that, an emergency medical technician. So all I really know is the body. And I built a philosophy from the paramedics into the neuromuscular therapy, that holistic approach, and then incorporated it from the physical side, the physiology side of it, when I got my exercise physiology degrees. And it started about 13 years ago, and just really working with people, and you know, there are different approaches that they take when it comes to wellness and health. It's different for everybody, and so I just kind of built a philosophy that works, you know, for everybody.
Okay, I definitely want to hear about your philosophy. Really quick, let's touch on the Health 360. Health 360 is a regular gym, but you guys have a strong emphasis on personal training, correct?
Correct.
So want me to talk a little bit about that?
Health 360 was built with the premise of, you know, think of 360. You know, a lot of people use the word 360 full circle.
Right.
You know, it's, you know, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physically, we try to really work with that approach, full body, educating them, areas of stress management, nutrition, of course, the physical side of it.
Sure.
And that's how we built the model behind Health 360.
Okay, cool. So how long have you guys been in business?
2 years now we've been in business, and previous to that we had a company, we worked with Team Energetics, and that was you know, about a 10-year company that we built the model behind. And then we opened up Health 360 to carry that. Team Energetics is opposed to the Health 360 name model, and morphed it into this location that is kind of like a physical therapy center, works with the athletes in the athletes department, and then works with the normal population in an area where they don't feel as intimidated.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you bring up a good point. If you talk about intimidation a little bit, a lot of times when people go to a gym, they're going to be a little bit worried about, you know, their form, how they look, who's looking at them, who's watching them, if anybody's watching them. So if you guys you know, bring that into play as far as people can come here, work out, don't have to worry about other people watching them, how would you kind of take somebody through a regular or normal workout here at the club? Would it be anything different as far as the way you train somebody, you know, stretching, warming up, plyometrics, weights? Do you guys have a certain philosophy or a certain path you follow?
Yeah, there is, and that's a great question, and I think that's what separates us too. So, you know, that being said, I kind of like what I call the our six-pack program. Everyone pretty much gets it, and it's a couple of sessions with an individual. One, breaking them down, we go through like an 11-point assessment on them. So we need to know them inside and out. We understand their health history prior to doing anything, but then we take a couple of days to take them through a full body workout, figuring out which muscles feel good, which ones work good. You know, again, a bicep curl to you may prefer to do a hammer curl as opposed to the next person who does something different. And again, you don't know what issues you have compared to me and the next. So a squat to somebody may have to be modified and do something different. So we take those couple of days, and then from there what we do is, this is where the education comes in. We try to teach them the names of the moves and how to do it so that they can perform them on their own.
That's good. And
then we finish them up the last day. If there's 2 days left, you know, it's about 6 days. What we do then is we start writing up the program based on all that philosophy. And then, because again, not everyone's going to always be able to afford personal training. Right. But if we can keep them around here to join the gym afterwards, because we've taught them what to do, they're more comfortable doing it.
Okay. Now with the name 360 and how you were talking right there, I got a few things out of it. The word balance came to mind. As you said, you give somebody a full body assessment to see what their strong points are, what their weak points are. You know, health and fitness isn't about just, like you said, getting big biceps or having a six-pack or being very strong, but it's about the whole package. Right. You know, working it all together, making yourself last, being in the game for longevity. Is that also kind of the philosophy behind what you guys are doing?
It's right in with it, and I'll tell you how it works. We start out balance and stability work with an individual, taking them down, and again, you're talking balance throughout life, but let's talk about balance to the body as well. That's how we look at this. We do balance and stability work. We figure out where they're at. We then go into strength program or flexibility, figuring out, again, the level at which we can work with the body. And then we'll go into, we're figuring out core moves, we'll take it down to strength and strength power, and that's how we'll develop, you know, again, a program for an individual. That being said, with life, and with this model here, different strokes for different folks, the people that walk through here.
Sure.
And we have to try to hit as much as possible on fitting their needs compared to the next person who may be stressed out, to a single mom who may come in here, to then the next person who's the athlete,
right,
who wants to tear it up and you don't even need your help.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Now I know your clientele base is mostly, or correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of boxers, fighters, and athletes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of training do you do with those guys?
That's what we call that chaos training. You know,
I like chaos training.
It's a disciplined approach I've developed over the past few years, and I have regular clientele, but you know, I think I specialize with these wrestlers, these fighters, and mixed martial art guys, and then the boxers. And it's training their bodies based on the different energy demands that I feel they're burning throughout a day, or more importantly, throughout a fight.
Sure.
And then developing that into a program over a couple of days throughout the week, you know, 2 to 3 days throughout the week, realizing they still have to go spar. A lot of these guys have to spar and wrestle. And so it's just a different approach, and it's all encompassing, and it's not, I don't want to use the wrong word here, but it takes a little bit more thought process based on how much stress the body's going through for that individual to build a program like that, as
right,
opposed to the normal population. So I just put a little bit more into it, and it's something I've been blessed to be able to really work on with individuals.
That's great. You know, along with all the hard and the intense workouts, you have to make sure the nutrition's up to par, right?
That's the key. That is the key.
Right.
It's the key to me. It's true.
Rest, recovery, what you put into your body, how you fuel your body, in any kind of a workout program, that's definitely going to be one of the most important things. You can put all the work and all the hard effort into something that you want, but if you don't recover well, if you don't eat the right foods, drink enough water, you know, take supplements, it's going to be really tough to get to that kind of peak physical condition that you're looking for. Something you said earlier, and it kind of resonates well with me, my background is I'm an EMT paramedic. So were you a basic or a paramedic?
Basic.
Okay. Regardless, if you have that kind of experience in the field working with people, you know, in a situation like that, people call you not on their best day, but on their worst day. You're getting called to a situation where they're really not feeling well, and I think a lot of times I'm kind of able to equate, if this person were to take better care of themselves as far as how they ate, if they were to work out, stay in shape, they may be avoiding some of these physical ailments as the body ages, as the body matures and they get older. Things happen. If someone's going to get hurt, we all get hurt. It's unfortunate. But since you have that kind of a perspective on things, has that maybe played into your training a little bit as far as how you approach a client or how you would approach a training situation?
Big time. I mean, and think about this. I mean, you could go into a situation where, if you look at the different walks of life, I'll say that walk through the door here, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a child, whether you're just a normal population, injured, you know, coming back from an injury, cardiac rehab,
right,
you get them all. The programs are A, B, C, D. I mean, and you have to break it down by each individual, and you got to take the time because, as you said, when you go out there, if you look at some of these people like, man, I wish you would have just done this a little bit better or this a little better. Take out the accident part of it. It's going to happen to everybody, like you said.
Right.
But when you see people walk through the doors, you're just like, son of a gun. And I wish you could just respect that 6 months from now, if you just stick to it, if you just do this, I'm not saying you're going to get and all that in 6 months based on your time, your lifestyle, your health history, all that. But I guarantee you this, within 3 months, you're going to feel amazing, that much more confidence even, that you're going to wish you did this years ago. And it's a big thing. I can only imagine when you see somebody that fell with a hip or did something, Mason, you see it all. You see them on their worst day, at the worst time, they don't want to see you. That's for sure, you know? And so, that being said, I'm sure you guys, you see it from a different, that perspective. I'm sure sometimes you wonder, man, this could have been avoided, or this would have been so much better. So.
It definitely makes you think. But if you had to, for someone who's, let's say, maybe a little bit out of shape, or maybe grossly out of shape, if you were to take that person on as a client, and I'm just going to talk about, you know, the normal person, your everyday Joe is going to walk through that door. Maybe go over a couple of your quick tips as far as maybe nutrition, what you tell that person, maybe your philosophy about training, what you tell that person, and then as far as a basic exercise program, how would you approach an individual like that?
That's a great question. Just to start off, the education is the key to me. I need to talk to these people and get inside here because I feel this. If you're talking everyday, all walks of life,
Sure.
there's a lot of stress in company with the everyday average person nowadays. And so that being said, you got to get into here. They have to believe it here in their mind. I mean, and once you create that connection and educate them, a lot of people are motivated. They want to look better, but they don't know what to do. And that's the big thing. They don't want to be looking in the mirror being miserable. That being said, once you educate them and you start to train them, and you figure out, listen, the consistency for nutrition isn't this crazy diet and going on. Listen, let's just get a balance. Let's figure out when you're eating, what you're eating, and what you're doing. Let's create a balance. So small meal. I'm a small meal guy.
Sure.
Throughout the day, I like to decrease some of those carbs later at night. You know what I mean, and all that. But I need to make sure that the biggest thing is consistency. Have your breakfast. I don't care if you want to or not, if you're not used to it. Let's figure out what it is at breakfast, those energy foods, and
Right,
boom, 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 boom. It's so taken, people don't, that little bit, people don't do, but that could be what's missing. A big puzzle piece missing in that respect. And then the workouts, I'm a 3-set, I'm a 9-set per week in the beginning for beginners. 3 months, let's use the argument Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example.
That'll work.
Feeling 12 repetitions, not being able to do the 13th or 14th so they can figure out what weight's right for them at a good 12 repetition max, and then figure out what exercises are going to be right for them within that range. Again, talking about the bicep curl to the bicep curl to the... So, and those are the keys, you know what I mean? And then incorporating a couple days in between of basic recovery. A little bit of walking, maybe a little bit of work. It depends what shape they're in, you know what I mean? But getting them moving and
Right.
stretching and staying flexible. And that's pretty
That's good. So to kind of recap what you said, we talked about consistency, getting the people through the door, making sure they stick with the program.
That's key.
When it comes to fueling the body, you talked about nutrient timing. And with nutrient timing, maybe what you were saying, kind of rephrasing a little bit here, is when you wake up in the morning, you want to make sure you eat your breakfast. You want to have, as you were saying, maybe small meals throughout the day,
Right.
rather than just having one big meal where you sit down and binge eat. And the reason for that is to kind of spread it out so you constantly keep your metabolism working. The more your metabolism has to work throughout the day, when you spread out the meals, the higher it's going to be. Now that doesn't mean you're going to be eating McDonald's or fast food every couple of hours. You want to be eating, whether it be a protein shake, fruits, vegetables, lean beef, protein,
Good
poultry, nuts, salads, everything. Those are all really good sources of food. And then you also kind of wrap it up as far as the training. You got to figure out what's going to work for that individual, tailor a program around his or her needs. And then one more thing I want to kind of touch up on is just your philosophy. We all know that sometimes people want to wake up either really early before they want to come to work and work out, or they're going to come in here after work when they're pretty exhausted and kind of worn out from the day. No matter what time it is, for some people that can be, well, for a lot of people, and myself included, probably you,
Right.
it can be tough to get motivated.
No doubt.
How do you motivate people?
Listen, that's a fantastic question, because that's the key. Again,
It's reality.
my opinion is people want the motivation. People don't want to look the way they do or feel the way they want to feel. They just don't know what to do. Well, you take what I said a statement ago, and you mix that with now giving people the motivation. Again, they're demotivated because of life. They're demotivated because they don't know what to do, whatever the case may be. And then they don't realize that, okay, at the end of the day, I don't want to do anything. And they tell you they're physically exhausted. Well, then we have to change something. And the way to do that is figure out how bad do you want it. All right, really, do you feel comfortable looking in the mirror? Do you feel comfortable being tired throughout the day? Do you hate having have to have the 4 cups of coffee? That isn't really even helping now. And you try to take that, listen, you got to dig deep. It's all about that person at the end of the day. It's all about that person at the end of the day where they're going to have to be, they're responsible for themselves. And they deserve to feel good going through it. With all the stress that's going on in their life, why do they have to be the mother that again, does all the laundry, cooks all the food? Feel good about yourself, and guess what? It'll be easier to do those little things. You know what? And squeeze it in when you can, but try to do something every day. If you can't get to the gym, let's figure out what the heck you got to do at home. But again, motivation, try to educate them on motivating them from the inside. Make it heartfelt. And that leads to the change that needs to be made mentally. And that's how I approach it. Because I'll tell you this much, you won't see me working out at the end of the day. I'm a get up, get it done early type of a guy. And you hit on the head. Later in the day, do I have the motivation to do it? No. Can I? Of course. Will I if I missed something and want to get... Sure. Way different workout than sometimes in the beginning of the day for me.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so if you're kind of able to stay in somebody's face or have them post their goals and keep them focused on the thing that's in front of them as far as their goals, their wants, their desires, their needs, it's a lot easier to kind of stay in the game, stay in shape, stay fit, rather than just kind of approaching it, oh, I want to get in shape, but when I get to it. You gotta kind of grab the bull by the horns and just go for it, right?
You nailed it. It's bottom line.
Great. Well, Bob, before we go, I noticed on YouTube you have several different training videos. And there's some pretty good videos. You guys should check them out. If somebody wants to get some more training information from you or get a hold of you personally, how can they do that?
Great. It's rk@h360g.com.
Great. And if they want to look up a video on YouTube?
Video on YouTube. I guess a good one, it says Sean Porter with strength trainer, or with strength coach, I think it says. And that's about a 10-minute video of some of the stuff I do with Sean Porter is a world-class fighter.
Right.
Again, and I didn't know someone put it on there. It's pretty sharp. I like it. So
good.
Take a look.
There you go. Free promotion.
There you go.
All right. Bob, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Interviews with Healthy Gurus. Talk to you soon.